It is wonderful to be here in Aljunied today, deep in the heartland of Singapore's empowerment. Please allow me to speak briefly in our national language, Malay, and then Chinese before speaking in English. Boleh? Singapura ialah negara yang maju, tetapi terlalu banyak orang Singapura hidup dalam keadaan yang bimbang. Kenapa? Kerana mereka boleh jadi penganggur atau tak boleh membayar utang. Dalam manifesto kami, Parti Pekerja menganjurkan banyak dasar-dasar untuk mengurangkan kebimbangan ini, macam insurans pengangguran dan merendahkan harga HDB BTO. Undilah Parti Pekerja untuk memperkasakan masa depan anda. 非常感谢你们前来支持工人党。请把你们手上神圣的仪表投给记得进来的工人党，好让新加坡成为一个名副其实的民主、公正、平等的国家。谢谢。My friends, today I want to talk about our economy. Friends, we live in a first world economy, but not every one of us lives in first world conditions. It is a common saying that we Singaporeans feel rich when we go to Malaysia or Thailand or Indonesia. But when we Singaporeans stay in Singapore, do we all feel rich? I don't think so. My friends, walking about East Coast GRC and Fengshan SMC, I have come across many stories of middle-income Singaporeans. Stories that leave me troubled, stories that I would like to share with you. They may be professionals, managers, and graduates, but they are living with insecurity and anxiety over precarious living standards and ever harsher competition at work and at their children's schools. One lady in her 30s approached me outside Bedok MRT a few days ago and told me that she had struggled for 1 year to find a job as there was too much competition in the job market for professionals, including those literally applying for the same job from overseas. I don't think I will ever forget the look on her face, my friends. It was the look of someone who felt betrayed. She is far from the only professional I have met who has celebrated their first anniversary of being unemployed. More than one professional family that I met told me that with COEs and ERP, they simply could no longer afford a car. They had to sell their car and take public transport. So they were affected by the MRT disruptions that we face, including this morning's train delay on the Northeast Line. I know many of us here tonight are middle-income Singaporeans. Many of us get up early to drive our children to school because we work some of the longest hours in the world, and we know we may not get to see them at night. At work, we risk being retrenched in our 40s and 50s, and then having to struggle to find a job. At night, when we return home after a hard day's work, we go back to a home where the average floor area has shrunk over the decades while the price has gone up. About 1/5 of us have domestic helpers who have to squeeze into the same shrinking space. As for the 80% of us without a helper, when we come home at night, more work is waiting. Housework, as well as coaching our children in schoolwork. But at the end of this long day, when we switch on the TV, There are endless reports about our high GDP. Does that make you feel better? The Workers' Party plans to speak up about these issues. In our manifesto, we have constructive solutions. We propose measures to rein in property prices, including for 4-room and 5-room HDB BTO flats. We want to increase childcare leave because we know that if your child falls sick at kindergarten or your childcare center and you have no helper, you have to apply for urgent leave. And depending on your employer, that may put your job at risk one day. We have proposed unemployment insurance so that you do not need to feel sick with worry that you will get retrenched and have to draw down your savings like a ticking time bomb. Our unemployment insurance proposal gives you 40% pay for up to 6 months. And we have proposed keeping the foreign population stable at roughly 1.6 million if we can generate 1% resident labor force growth each year. And we also suggest compulsory educational qualification assessments for foreigners applying for work passes to ensure that their degrees are real. And secondly, I want to talk about our local business owners who have suffered from high rentals, from staff turnover, and many other challenges. My friends, I myself am an entrepreneur. I understand these problems. I know what it means to fight to keep revenue over costs. I know firsthand that many problems remain for our local enterprises, like lack of funding and unpredictable rentals. My friends, we recommend measures like managing land sales so as to keep commercial rentals at no more than inflation. We suggest the government develop a dedicated capability to support micro businesses, that is, companies that employ less than 10 employees. And we suggest lifting the cap on PIC grants for key platform technologies for specific industries to allow firms to make that breakthrough investment to push their productivity up and assure their company's future. My friends, if you look at the PAP cabinet, how many of them have ever been entrepreneurs and business owners? Hardly any. Most have been civil servants all their lives. There's nothing wrong with that. But when they make economic policy, is it grounded in the realities that our local companies face? Friends, the Workers' Party's message to you on the economy is that we need more confident Singapore citizens and confident local businesses. Too many of us struggle to make ends meet from day to day. Too many of us worry about being retrenched, about not being able to retire. My friends, all this wears down our spirit. All this drains our energy. Then we will have nothing left with which to dream, to create, to innovate, which is what a first world economy needs in the 21st century. We need, my friends, to reach for the stars, knowing that if we fall, the safety nets will help us spring back. The price of failure must not be so high. The countries with the most dynamic economies and the greatest companies, like the USA, Japan, Europe, Korea, all first world countries, mostly have the things that we are calling for in the Workers' Party manifesto, like unemployment insurance, export-import banks for our local businesses, and a minimum wage. My friends, we need an economy that serves us and a politics that serves us, not the other way around. My friends, we need a strong, responsible opposition to ensure that the government's economic goals are your goals and not their goals. Memperkasakan masa depan Anda. 掌握民权，把握未来。Vote for the Workers' Party to empower your future. Thank you.